Back in January, I found out something that would change my entire year. A tumor, right in my tibia, my left leg. It wasn't just a medical issue, it was a gut-level fear. The kind that sits in your stomach and whispers, "What if this is it?" Every step felt heavier after that diagnosis, not just physically, but emotionally. I was scared. Scared to move wrong, scared to stop moving, scared of what I'd lose. By April, I was sitting in a surgeon's office, the sterile smell of antiseptic in the air. He looked at me with that quiet seriousness that doctors have when they're about to tell you something you don't want to hear. "You can't work right now," he said. "Your bone could snap under pressure." Just like that, my independence, my stability, my routine, gone. June came with surgery. I still remember the fluorescent lights above me as the anesthesiologist said, "Count back from 10. Then darkness, then pain, then months of learning to walk again. Every day felt like climbing a hill barefoot, slow, painful, but determined. I promised myself that when I could finally stand again, I'd stand proud. So when I finally returned to work, 2.5 weeks ago, it felt like victory. No restrictions, no excuses, but a quiet warning from the doctor. Be careful. It's still fresh. Push too hard and it could end badly. I took that to heart, but apparently not everyone did. I worked as a curbside shopper, hauling groceries, loading cars, constantly on my feet. Sundays were chaos. Shopping carts squealing, orders stacking up, the sound of scanners beeping nonstop. And my shift leader, let's call her Amber, thrived on that chaos. The kind of person who believed team effort meant you do the suffering while I supervise. Amber had a reputation: short fuse, sharp tongue, and a strange satisfaction in watching people struggle. We'd had issues before, little power plays, snide comments, but I always brushed them off. Until that Sunday. About an hour and a half into my shift, it started, a slow, throbbing ache deep in my leg. Every step sent a warning shock through my body, a reminder that my bone had once been cut open and pieced back together. I tried to push through. I smiled at customers. I carried groceries. I told myself I could handle it. But pain has a way of peeling off your mask. Soon, I was limping. My hands trembled every time I lifted a bag. My breathing turned shallow. I could feel the screws in my leg with every step, a burning, grinding reminder that I was still healing. Finally, I couldn't take it anymore. I went to Amber, clutching the counter for balance. "Hey," I said softly, "can I go on break 20 minutes early?" "My leg's killing me. I just need to sit for a minute." She didn't even look up from her clipboard. "We're all in pain," she said flatly. "This is a team effort. No one gets special treatment unless you've got a doctor's note." I blinked. I had a doctor's note. In fact, it was on file. I'd given it to HR weeks ago. "I do have a doctor's note," I said, my voice shaking now. She looked up then, eyes cold and disinterested. "Well, I don't see it. So unless you're actually dying, you can wait." The words hit me harder than the pain in my leg. She walked away, leaving me standing there, hurting, humiliated, and furious. 5 minutes later, maybe she realized I wasn't bluffing. She sighed, waved her hand dismissively, and muttered, "Fine, take your break." That's when something in me snapped. I limped to the break room, sat down, and let the pain finally wash over me. 15 minutes of silence, 15 minutes of realization. I wasn't just exhausted. I was done. Done being ignored. Done being disrespected. Done being treated like my pain was an inconvenience. By the time my break ended, I'd made up my mind. I walked straight to a manager. He looked up, surprised. "Hey, everything okay?" I took a breath. For the first time in months, my voice was steady. "Yeah," I said. "Everything's fine. I'm done. I quit." Then I turned around and walked to the time clock. The sound of that final beep as I clocked out. It was freedom. Pure, quiet, golden freedom. You might be thinking, that's it? That's the revenge. But here's the thing. Sometimes revenge isn't about yelling or fighting or grand gestures. Sometimes it's about walking away at the exact moment they need you most. That day was our busiest of the week. Chaos without me meant disaster. I had opened all week. I was their most reliable worker. And now, I was gone. A few minutes later, I heard my name over the store intercom. "Can someone from curbside come see the manager, please?" I laughed. Good luck with that. As I walked through self-checkout, groceries in hand, my main boss arrived, red-faced, stressed, probably already hearing complaints. He saw me, our eyes met. And then he looked away, angry, embarrassed, maybe even realizing what he'd lost. That was my revenge. Not loud, not petty, just powerful. When I got home, I sat in silence for a long time. My leg still hurts. But my heart, it felt lighter than it had in months. Because here's the truth. Sometimes the sweetest revenge isn't watching them fall apart. It's reclaiming your peace. Amber? She learned the hard way that loyalty has limits, and that treating people like they're disposable has consequences. Me? I learned that my worth doesn't depend on anyone's permission to rest. Never let someone make you feel weak for choosing yourself. Pain isn't weakness. It's your body asking for kindness. And respect shouldn't be something you have to beg for at work. Walk away when you've given enough. Because when you finally stop letting others control your worth, that's when you really win. If this story hit home, if you've ever had a boss who ignored your pain or took advantage of your loyalty, hit that like button. Drop a comment below. What's the most satisfying moment of standing up for yourself you've ever had? And don't forget to subscribe to Revenge Flame, where every story burns bright with justice.